Hello, hello, I'm Kayleen with Brilliant Button Crochet, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to add beads to your crystal geodes. This is super easy, you're going to love it. Make sure though that you still look at the pattern for the section on how to do this so you don't miss any tips and tricks like how to turn your geode into a rainbow masterpiece, adding stripes, or what to do if your beads are too far apart. So make sure you're still checking that part of the pattern. This is just a supplement to the pattern, but I hope you still enjoy this video. Thanks so much for watching. Let's get started. Now, normally in my patterns, it's okay to stray from the materials a little bit, but for this pattern, it's really important that you are using the right hook size, the right yarn, and the right beads to do this. Otherwise, it's gonna mess up where your beads are sitting and how close they are together. So make sure you're using some 4-ply worsted weight yarn and some 9mm barrel style pony beads. Okay, I get my beads from beadtin.com. I can also get them on Amazon, and sometimes I find them at Hobby Lobby. You can use the rounded beads like this, or I love these clear faceted ones. They have a 6mm hole, so make sure you're watching for that because you will want that. And they, like I said, 9mm faceted barrel style pony beads. I will have that in the description because I know that's kind of a mouthful. You can use regular clear colorless faceted beads and let the yarn that you use behind it color them, or you can buy the colored beads and then just use a yarn that kind of matches the color. You can also, and this is really fun, you can have a mix of the shades or of the colors in your beads, and that can create a really beautiful geode. This geode, I just mixed random purple, blue, and pink beads, and it created this really lovely geode for me. So you can mix colors, you can stripe colors like I said earlier, but that's only going to be written in the pattern. And yeah, it's pretty fun, it's pretty easy. Make sure you have the right materials. Okay, so we're going to start by adding beads to your working yarn. And you can either start by counting your beads and putting them in a bowl like this, or counting as you put them on. Either way is fine. If you do count while you're putting them on, I like having these long needles, so I can put 5 beads on at a time, and then I don't have to count them one at a time. I can count them by 5s. That's just helpful for me. And then I've already got a few strung on here. Once you do have them strung on and you're working, make sure that your beads are all together like this, because then the yarn will go nicely through them all, just like so. If they have a big separation, it might make it a little more choppy. So if they're separated like this, just make sure that they're all together on your string as you work. And let's get our hook and let's get going. Okay, I'm back, and I was able to work ahead a little bit so I could show you this. And we're ready to add a bead. So we're gonna pull a bead up our string, and we're gonna put it right behind where we've been working. Then we just act like it's not even there. We're gonna make a single crochet like normal. You just grab the string from this side of the bead, and there's a single crochet. You'll notice I'm doing 3 single crochets between this. You can do 2 if you find that you need to tighten up that space a little bit, but it is okay to have a little bit of a gap between the beads, and I'll show you that in just a second. So I'll show you one more time. 1, 2, and 3. Pull up a bead, put it right behind where you're working, and continue on like normal. And when you're ready to tie off, I like to have 1 to 2 stitches after the bead just to make sure it's good and secure there. And then you can slip stitch, or you can do an invisible tie off. When you flip it over this way, you will notice there are some gaps like I mentioned before, and that's totally okay. You want that a little bit so that there's enough wiggle room so that when you invert it and create your geode shape, they come close together so that there's space for them to scoot in. And now they're a lot closer together, and see how the gaps have closed. If there's still some gaps, or if there's a big hole where you want to add a bead or 2, you totally can at this point just sew in a bead where there's big holes if there are any for whatever reason. But it's pretty easy, it's pretty simple, and after this part you have to make still the shell, and you have to attach the shell, and there's other parts of the pattern of course, but this is probably the most complicated part of the pattern, is just getting used to adding the beads. Once you are used to it, it goes by pretty quick. So I hope it helped. Please comment below if there's any other videos you'd like me to show you how to do. And thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day.